Billy looked up at the house on the hill. It was old and crumbling. The windows were like dark, vacant eyes. Everyone said the house was haunted. Billy didn't believe in ghosts. Still, he felt a chill crawl up his spine as he stared at it. It was Mikey, the school bully, who dared him. Double, triple dog dared him. "Go up there on Halloween night," Mikey had sneered, his breath making clouds in the cold air. "Go inside and you'll see if it's haunted or not." Now here he was, Halloween night. A storm brewed overhead, casting an eerie glow on the house. Billy's breath hitched in his throat. He was scared, he realized, really scared. But he couldn't back down now, not with Mikey and his cronies watching from a safe distance at the bottom of the hill. Taking a deep breath, Billy started up the hill. The wind howled around him. It tore at his jacket, whipped his hair into his eyes. Each step was an effort, the wind seeming to push him back, urging him to turn away. But Billy pressed on. He could see the outline of the house more clearly now. The paint was peeling, the wood rotting. One of the shutters hung precariously from a single hinge, banging rhythmically against the wall in the wind. As he got closer, he could hear other sounds too, a low creaking, like the house itself was groaning. The rattle of something metal hitting against stone. The wind seemed to carry these sounds, to amplify them, to make them seem closer than they were. Finally, he reached the top of the hill. He stood before the front door, a heavy, ancient-looking thing made of dark wood. He reached for the handle. The door creaked open with a groan, like a mouth opening after years of silence. The stench that hit him was overpowering. Dust, mildew, something rotten. Billy coughed, covering his nose and mouth with his sleeve. He stepped inside. The air was thick and heavy, filled with swirling dust motes illuminated by the faint moonlight filtering through the grimy windows. Cobwebs hung from every corner, thick and grey like shrouds. The room was bare except for a single chair in the center. Billy took a step closer, his heart pounding in his chest. He could hear the blood rushing in his ears, drowning out the sounds of the wind and the storm outside. He reached out and touched the chair. It was ice cold. And then he felt it, a presence. Something was watching him. He could feel its eyes on him, cold and menacing. He spun around, his heart racing. There was nothing there. Just shadows and dust and the faint moonlight filtering through the grimy windows, but he could still feel it, that presence, watching him. Suddenly, there was a crash from upstairs. Loud and sharp, it echoed through the empty house. Billy jumped, his breath catching in his throat. He had to get out of there. He turned and ran, stumbling over the uneven floorboards, his heart pounding in his chest. He could hear the presence behind him, its cold breath on his neck. He didn't dare look back. He fumbled with the doorknob, finally managed to yank the door open. He stumbled out into the storm, the rain instantly soaking through his clothes. He didn't stop running until he reached the bottom of the hill. He didn't look back. But he knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that he would never forget the horrors he had witnessed in that house, the house on the hill. The haunted house.